Hey guys, how you doing? Right here again. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it's Nitro Kyosho. Well, this is the final build overview I'm going to do. I've already done two little short videos, guys, of just a walk around of the progress of the build. The build is completely done now, with the exception of tweaking the B-stacks a little bit here and there, and I got to get a battery for it. So there probably won't be a flight of this for another month or so, and we're just trailing out of winter time right now. But what I want to talk about is just some little tips, things to look out for anybody who's going to build one of these. You guys that know me know I always have some cheat sheets here. And let me grab one more thing here that I'm going to have to show you guys. Now, most people that build these are going to probably use Scorpion motors. They're probably, you know, the best motors out there. Everybody knows that. This company decided to come up with their own brand of motor and speed control and everything that they're promoting. So if you get a Scorpion motor, the first thing that you have to keep in mind, guys, and I'll jump down to the page here that gives a picture so I can show you after. Here it is. Okay, the Scorpion motors, depending which one you get, I got the 4021-1100 kV, which was the one that was being promoted, they said, for you know, hard 3D and stuff. So that was the one I bought. Now that motor, guys, comes with a 5mm shaft on it. And the pulley that they give you, okay, is set up for a 6mm shaft, which comes on their type of motors that they're promoting, like I said. They do give you a sleeve, a bushing that goes over the top of your motor to make up the difference, and it has a little hole in it for the grub screw and everything. So that's one thing to keep in mind, okay? Now, the other thing is, because of the way the motor is sitting on the top and the shaft comes down through into the pulley, the shafts are very long on the Scorpion motors. And if you're planning to use a good sized battery, at least a 4000 pack in there, it's probably going to get in the way and hit that shaft. They tell you to cut the shaft down. They give you the dimensions from the base of the motor to the tip of the shaft. They want it to be, it says 23mm. That's when one of these guys comes in. Alright, you need to get yourself one of these digital caliper here, and you can use this either in digital mode, or you can read the little graph on there the old school type way. And you need one of these to measure that, okay? Now what I did was I just put, instead of measuring it, I just put the sleeve on, okay? And once the sleeve was at the base of the motor, then what I did was measure from the top of the sleeve to the tip of the shaft, okay? Locked down my caliper, got that measurement, took the sleeve off, put that back there from the tip down, then I put a piece of tape, yellow tape, around it so I would know exactly where to cut it. Then it's good to have somebody help you to hold the motor down so it doesn't move. And then you need one of these, either a Dremel. I used an air tool, and you use these little discs right here. They're very fragile looking, but they're very powerful, and it only takes about 20 seconds to cut the shaft. These are the little discs that go on there. About the size of a little bigger than a penny, but very, very thin. Don't be fooled by them, guys. They will cut through that thing like a hot knife through butter. It is makes you a little bit nervous cutting a motor shaft, but just measure it, and you know, it'll work out great for you. Just do what I said, the way I did it. Now, once you do that, make sure that that shaft is not on there when you're cutting, because you don't want to slip and cut into that shaft. Put that sleeve over the shaft, like I said, measure from the shaft to the end, take the sleeve off, put the vernier back there, and then wrap tape around the part that's not going to be cut. Have your buddy hold it and zoom right through. Now, when you slide the shaft, excuse me, I keep saying the shaft, when you slide the bushing over the shaft, the bushing has a hole in it. That hole is going to be for a grub screw. You have to make a flat spot, guys. If you don't make a flat spot and you try to install that motor, it's just going to spin free and you're going to crash, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. Back to these, take your Dremel or whatever have you. What I did was I put the bushing, notice I said bushing this time, the bushing back over the shaft where the hole is. Take yourself a black pointy Sharpie, black marker, color in that hole. That way, guys, you know exactly where that flat spot has to be made. Once the hole was colored in, I put a little tape on either side of that black spot. Then you just gently keep this on low and just slowly back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with the disc, back and forth until you make a flat spot. You don't got to go crazy. Make it enough where you can catch your fingernail on either side. And then put your bushing back over and make sure that it looks good. But be careful, guys. Keep the gun on low when you do it. Don't go crazy or you'll dig right through that shaft again. And just a gentle movement back and forth until you make a flat spot. The other thing is, the motor is not going to reach, the wires are not going to reach the electronic speed control. You have to get yourself some wire. Okay, I used the Talon, Castle Talon 90, alright, and on the battery side it said it was 10 gauge wire, so I picked up 10 gauge for the other side, and basically all you're going to do is cut 3 pieces of wire, maybe about 4 inches, just enough to get, you know, where you got to go. Cut the ends off, you know, a little bit, depending what type of, I used EC5s, but you got to use your own judgment of how far you got to cut it to put it into the hole to solder it, guys. You can buy this at Radio Shack. You get 35 feet of it for 20 bucks, you know, or you can get it wherever you'd like. That's where I got it. And basically, you don't need to buy any extra connectors. You take the speed control connectors, put them on one side that they give you with your speed control, and take your motor, the opposite motor connectors, and just solder those on the other end, and you just connect it up, guys. I always leave my motor disconnected until this thing is going out in the yard for the final flight, you know, or, you know, you're just about to test it and make sure that it's spinning the right way and so forth. But leave that motor disconnected, guys. You don't need it connected through the B-Stex or whatever type of fly barless setup you're going to be using until you need to know if the motor's spinning in the right direction. Alright, so that's it for talking about the motor. They also recommend that you drill holes underneath the frame in the book to put zip ties to hold your speed control. I didn't bother doing that. I don't think you need to do it. Why put holes if you don't have to? My speed control fit in there nice and tight, and I put a nice professional piece of the hardcore Velcro. That thing ain't coming loose, guys, I'll tell you that much. So if you don't want to be bothered drilling holes and weakening the frame at all, which I wouldn't bother doing, just put some Velcro in there, or you can put a zip tie around it too, and it ain't going nowhere because it can't get out the back or the front once it drops down in there. Other thing, the B-Stex unit or whatever fly barless unit is back here mounted, and the speed control's in the front. The wire is not going to reach. Okay, so you need to be aware of that too. Get yourself a JR. They call them servo extensions. It's got the male on one side, the female already on there, no soldering involved. Speed control plugs in one end, the other end plugs into your B-Stex unit. Okay, so be aware of that too. As far as the build, guys, the build was very, very, very easy as far as the helicopter itself. They give you basically one page which shows you what you need, and the next page shows you how to assemble it. a full color book. Let me get up and show you quick so you can see some of the pages here. Okay, see, this page shows you what you need. It's telling you what you need here. And then the next page shows you how to assemble it. Very, very descriptive manual. Tells you here a little tip, don't put these bolts in this yet. It tells you the type of Loctite. It shows you the type of screws you need to use and what you need. And up here it tells you you need bag 1, bag 1A, bag 1C, and tray 2. Be aware that there are bags and there are trays, because I spent about 20 minutes looking for a piece that the piece that locked in the frame here for the battery, and it was in the tray, not in the bag. So be aware of when it says the tray and the bags. Make sure you get both, guys. Okay. But the manual, full color manual, guys, very, very easy to build this helicopter. Everything went together just perfect. Another tip, well, you guys should know already, is make sure the head is loose on this thing. You have to take the head apart. You have to put grease in the thrust bearings. You have to put grease in the tail, and you have to Loctite all that back up and everything. So be aware of that. What else? The belt. When you put the belt in, guys, too, I put a piece of tape on one end and it slipped right through the boom. Goes through pretty easy. Make sure that you put the belt on right, guys. Okay, and how you know how to do that is you spin your head. The main blades here, you're going to be spinning them clockwise, and the tail is going to be spinning counterclockwise. So make sure that you check that so you don't go out the fly and find out your tail's going the wrong way. The belt will turn left, the belt will turn right. That'll make the difference on which way it's going to be spinning. So be aware of that. And just go through the manual. You don't even you know, usually with the Align ones, I would you know, go through the whole manual first and then build it. This one I didn't. It is very just impressively set up, guys. It's got highlighted things, which way to put this clearly, which way to put that, upside down. So you know, it's in my opinion very, very well put together manual. I think even a novice could build this helicopter. With the servos, it gives a good description of the installation. It gives you 2 different size plates for different size servos. What I did was I took just common ties you'd get on like a loaf of bread, and I pre-installed the servos. I put the horns on gently, and I pre-installed them with just wire ties and made sure that everything was lined up properly before I went torquing screws in there. You can do like kind of a mock-up of it. And like I said, it has 2 different size plates for the full size, the mini servos. Be aware of that. The pictures are very, very descriptive here. I'll show you again. Okay. Shows you the different size plates. It shows you the configuration. Be aware of the configuration of the servos and how they go in and how the spleens are going in towards the main shaft. But very, very easy to put together, guys. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else here we can really talk about, because I don't want to drag this video out any longer than we have to. I know people don't like to watch long videos. But as for really the tips, guys, I mean, that's what it comes down to, is what I told you about cutting the motor and extending the electronic speed control wire with a JR wire you can get in between, and just reading the manual good and making sure you understand everything and how everything goes together. The belt going the right way, like I said, cutting the motor down. If you're going to use an EC5, you can't use EC3 connectors on this, guys. That's what I use on my 500 T-Rex and my 450 because the wires are too thick and they're not going to fit in there. So you have to jump up to the EC5. When you do that, make sure that you get a balancer, okay, to plug in when you want to charge your battery. An EC5 balancer setup. You can buy these already pre-assembled. And I got this at Healy Direct because you're going to need this also to plug in for your balancing. And other than that, guys, you know, not much more to say. Those are just my little tips to look out for. And just making sure you route your wires the proper way. You know, take your time with that. That's about it, really. Don't have much more to say. I don't have a review on the flight or the characteristics of this thing yet because I don't have a battery. I haven't taken it out to fly it. It's still, we're trailing out of winter, like I said, so look for a flight within the next month, guys, okay? Probably going into April at some point. But I thank you for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitro Kyosho. I'll probably be putting out another video. Somebody was asking me about comparing sizes to different helicopters, so we'll do another one on that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And if you get one of these, good luck. And take your time with the build, and it'll go good. Thanks.